Booyaka, booyaka! Oh, shit. What up, fam? Boy, do we got a lot... Let me see if it's recording, because I'm very paranoid right now. Okay, we are. We're good. All right. We're recording. I just got to make sure, because when I hit the button, it doesn't make any noises, so I don't know if I'm recording or I'm taking a picture. You never know, especially with my luck. I'd be probably fucking calling the president by accident or something. But anyways, hope you guys... Oh, shit. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm sorry. Technical difficulties. Hope you guys had a great... Oh, let's go ahead and do that. Hope you guys had a great weekend. The fights... Gotta say, the prelims were kind of lacking. Nothing too special there, but, I'll go over some fights. Oh, I can't wait to talk about the main event. No, but, this weekend for me wasn't too crazy, I don't really think I have anything interesting to talk about that's entertaining in the slightest. I will say this, though. I was in the store, and I got my headphones in. I had these headphones in, and for some reason, I don't know why people do this, but, I guess somebody wanted to ask me a question, or I don't even know, but they go like this. They go, really? You have to do this? As if I don't know to try to hear you. I gotta maybe close the music, turn down the music, or pause it, or take out my... You don't need to direct me to fucking take my earbuds out, okay? It's just these people. People just make zero sense. It happens to me all the time, right? And then it finally clicked that there's obviously a major IQ deficit problem in this country. That's the problem. That's the real base root of the problem in America. All right? You can talk about all this political nonsense you want. You can talk about all these morals and this and that, right? But at the end of the day, the number one problem in this country are low IQ imbeciles. All right? So that's the real problem. That's what we got to fix. We got to fix these ignorant, imbecile, low IQ motherfuckers that are out there. That's what we got to do. But anyways, enough of my rambling. Let's get into this, all right? We got Evan Elder versus Valdez, right? It was a pretty good fight. Decent fight. Evan Elder, like I said, he showed a good account of himself when he fought Nazim, who fought also on this card. And, he seems like a pretty decent prospect, very well-rounded, skilled. And it was just a pretty decent fight, nothing crazy. But this is only his second fight in the UFC, so we'll see how he progresses. It's pretty cool. Then we got Melsik Bagdasaryan. We had The Gun. That's like his nickname, The Gun versus Top Gun, Tucker Lutz. And what's so crazy, man, about this fight, right? It didn't make any sense to me how Tucker Lutz had the obvious wrestling advantage. He had the obvious wrestling advantage and controlled Melsik on the ground easily, and Melsik couldn't get up, right? He couldn't stop the takedown, nor could he scramble or get up, right? Maybe he did it once in the entire fight. Maybe one time, if not, zero. But, I don't understand this guy's game plan. Why are you going to try to kickbox with this guy who's a southpaw? Not only a southpaw, but his kicks are lightning fast. He's got really great kicks. And he was just getting tore up to the body. He was getting hurt real bad. And really implemented this wrestling game way too late in the fight when he's already hurt, beat, gassed, ribs are probably broken. You know what I mean? You just waited too long to implement that game plan. Like, Tucker Lutz actually could have won this fight if he would have stuck with the wrestling and not get beat up right away and try to kickbox with this guy. So, other than that, though, Melsick did what he had to do. He's a very great striker. You can tell he's very powerful. He throws everything into his shots. The only thing is, I just don't understand this problem with wrestling that he has. Like, he's getting taken down easily. And on top of that, you're staying down, right? And really the key when it comes to getting up when you're taken down, it's not only just the defense. It's about the fucking hustle. Like, that's the actual truth. You can out-hustle technique. Like, as crazy as that sounds, you really can. Just depending on the circumstances, right? Like, obviously, technique is key. It's number one. But you get a guy that's just a crazy, just nonstop, like a Frankie Edgar type of pace, right? You know, they're going to get up, right? And it really just comes down to conditioning. When you get taken down, you got to get back up, taken down, get back. That's really just a lot of conditioning. That takes a lot of gas to do. So I don't know if Melsick was just trying to conserve his gas, if he just didn't know how, or it was just kind of weird to see him just lay there for the rest of the round. So at the end of the day, he did get the win, so good on him. Now we got Nazim Sadikov versus Terrence McKinney, and I previously stated in the earlier video, or not earlier, but the official show, I don't know what to call it. I predicted that this fight was going to be a banger, and I really thought that Terrence McKinney would switch up his game plan, not go crazy in the first round and get him out of there, right? Which, honestly, Terrence McKinney actually did change his game plan to a more wrestling base, right? But what's funny is, even though he wasn't trying to go strike heavy and go for the KO right away, he went wrestling heavy, but he was trying to go for the KO in the wrestling grappling department, right? When he took Nazim's back and he was trying to get that rear naked choke and squeezing with all his might, even though it was like kind of like the bridge of the nose area type of deal, where it's easier to defend. Kind of blew his load there and did a lot of explosive movements. Instead of in the striking, he did more explosive movements in the grappling. Sort of got gassed a little bit. Second round, same thing. He tried to go for a takedown. Nazim stuffed it pretty well. Kind of had like a weird scramble situation. Then, Sadikov ended up taking his back, but kind of trapping his arm while taking the back, which is pretty like weird. But hey, it happens, right? And Terrence McKinney really just failed to have that awareness of, hey, my arm is trapped and my neck is exposed. And I don't know if he blanked out. I don't know if he quit. I really don't know what happened there. And Nazim just put his arm around his neck and bye-bye. Game over. And I think Sadikov looks really good. He looks very well-rounded. Great fight IQ. He handled a very dangerous opponent in Terrence McKinney. Like I said, he's very dangerous, man. He's got all the tools. He's just lacking in the fight IQ department, So Sadikov looks like he's the real deal, complete package. So I'm excited to see what he's got going on. And then we got Norma Dumont versus Michael Chandler. Chelsea Chandler, I think that's her name. The only reason why I even put this fight on here was because of the first round when Dumont hit her, right, with like that left hand. I think it was the left hand or the right hand that hurt her real bad. Chandler turned around and sprinted all the way to the cage. I mean, that is really funny. And it looks very goofy and funny, but that might have bought her 2-3 seconds of recovery time. Right? You never know. Instead of exchanging with her while she's hurt. She kind of ran away to kind of get her bearings straight for just a little bit, right? But that was fucking hilarious. Even DC was like trying so hard not to like roast her or whatever in the most polite way, but just kept saying like, I've never in my life seen that, right? So that's always pretty funny to, you know, it's funny to see those type of things, you know. When you see something that you've never seen before and it's like on a quiet fight night card, it kind of makes up for the whole night. It really does, you know. So that was actually pretty funny. Norma Dumont, decent win, outstruck Chelsea Chandler. Chandler kept getting taken down. She had the right idea with the guard, but just didn't have any urgency into pushing her off, creating scrambles, kicking her off with the feet. She's trying to go for these triangles and arm bars, which it looks like she has the leg dexterity to do that, and it looked like she knows what she's doing on her guard, but really it's so hard to get anything from the guard, like, unless you're like crazy high level from the guard. Like, I remember Verdum was crazy from his guard. I remember freaking Paul Craig, he's insane from the guard, right? He's got crazy triangles and arm bars from there, right? But it's just so rare to come by, to be so nasty from your guard. You know, like Charles Oliveira, same thing, he's nasty from his guard too, but it's just so like rare to come by people that have such a dangerous guard that they just stand up right like, oh, I don't want to deal with that, right? So, you know, and especially if you got somebody who's jiu-jitsu competent on top, 9 times out of 10, they're not getting caught with some bullshit. One arm in, one arm out, triangle or arm bar, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's just not as likely to happen. So, good win for Norma Dumont. Can't even read what this says. Hold on. Oh, the Iron Turtle. The Iron Turtle, Jun Young Park, voices Albert Duraev. And what did I tell you motherfuckers about this fight, eh? I told you Jun Young Park, the Iron Turtle, is the real deal. He's got insane cardio. He's very well-rounded. It's what I said in the last video. And Albert Duraev, he's just a wrestler guy that gasses. And what do you know? What happened? He got absolutely cream-pied. Alright? Sorry, Albert, but you got to definitely run more or get your striking in order, because the whole wrestling thing just ain't cutting it. Alright? And the Iron Turtle, on the other hand, Jun Young Park, he seems like such a nice guy, isn't he? Like, super humble. Like, I'm a big fan of this guy. Not only because he's super well-rounded, but his character. You know, definitely seems like a really decent guy. Very respectful. So, wow, you know, what an incredible performance. The boxing was on point. The wrestling defense was on point. His gas tank was on point. His finishing ability was on point. I'm telling you, he's a very solid, well-rounded guy. He just really is. So, I'm glad that he got the dub. Good for you, my friend. Francisco Prado versus Atman Azaitar. Now, this fight was not only was it a pretty good fight, but the face-offs, like the pre-fight face-off or whatever, the weigh-in ceremony, whatever you want to call it, I was laughing so hard, right? Because it just seemed like every other normal weigh-in video, right? You get the athlete, they come in the same direction, both of them, which they need to switch that. Like, why am I facing my opponent's back? We're actually waiting in line to go look at each other menacingly for the cameras, but behind closed doors and the curtains, we're just waiting in line, and we're just like, oh, whatever. Like, it's kind of weird. They should have 2 different opposite sides. They walk to the stage, they walk out. I just don't get why they're doing a whole one-line, you know, thing. It just doesn't make sense, especially if you have like a really heated face-off. Well, you're gonna have somebody in between them, security, while they walk out. It's kind of goofy. You know, they've been doing that for years. I don't know why they don't change that. They need to change that soon. But they're probably not going to change until somebody busts into a fight. When, like, probably Cole Cock, a guy from So how you say cold cock? I don't know. Rabbit punch, whatever you want to call it, from behind. Then they'll be like, oh, we can't have them behind each other. That's weird. We gotta separate them. So I don't know why they don't do that already. But so yeah, the weigh-in video was really funny because Francisco Prado comes out, and then like I said, it was just a normal weigh-in video. It was all quiet. They're facing off. You hear the cameras going off. Then out of nowhere, you see Francisco Prado get in there with Ahmed Zaitar, right? All of a sudden you hear his coaches like, hey, he's going to retire. We already got his plane tickets ready. Yeah, his ass going to retire, blah, 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 this and that, right? Just talking mad shit. And it was just so, like, out of nowhere that I just busted out laughing. It was just too damn funny, right? There's just so many, like, there's so many things that are just hilarious when it just comes out of nowhere. Just timing, right? That's the key in comedy, is timing, right? But not only was that hilarious, the fight was really good. Action-packed. Francisco Prado, like I said, he's got decent hands. He's got really good boxing. You know, he was playing with fire a little bit in the pocket, kind of like leaving his chin up there and kind of like trying to weave the shots just with his head instead of blocking. But at the end of the day, he got the job done. Got Ahmed Zaitar out of there. Bloodied him up real bad. Throwing those hammer fists real bad. Yeah, Ahmed got beat up pretty damn good, right? So he's really young, like early 20s too. So I'm really excited to see how he looks in the future. But he said he's moving up to 170, which is kind of interesting because he's pretty short. He's not tall. He's like 5'10", maybe. You know, for welterweight, that's pretty small. You know, Woodley was kind of short, but he was built like a fucking, you know, like a running back. So yeah, you know, excited to see how he does. And then we got, yeah, we got this fight coming up, which I got to drink a little water before I talk about this one. So the JDM fight, I'm glad they put this on the co-main event, because I'm telling you, when I was looking at the fight card, you know, for the previous video, it had him in the prelims, like I swear to you. So it wasn't the co-main, I promise you. It didn't say co-main. On the ESPN app, it didn't say co-main, so I'm glad they changed that or whatever. They listened to me finally. No, so we got Jack Della Maddalena versus Basil Hafez, right? And I saw this Basil Hafez pre-fight interview. He seemed like a very well-spoken guy, pretty serious, pretty, you know, like, hey, I'm here to fucking win, you know, which they all say. No, but, you know, Basil, I say it like that because of Gordon Ramsay, you know. I love Gordon Ramsay. And there's like this one like YouTube compilation of him like his best freakouts or whatever. And he's like in this restaurant, right? And there's like a basil cream or basil pasta sauce or whatever. And obviously these restaurants are shitholes. And this basil pasta cream or whatever has like mold on the edge of it. And is it, yeah, mold, right? Yeah, it was like mold or whatever. And he like empties the fridge. He gets everybody to the kitchen. He's like, look at this. You're gonna sell this to people. And then he shows all the servers like, this is what you've been serving. Look at that. And he's like, you see all the mold? You see all the mold in there? And then one of the waitresses goes, oh my God, that's mold? I thought that was basil, right? So she says it, basil. And then obviously in his accent he goes, basil. I wish it was fucking basil, right? Fuck. For fuck's sake. So, I just always say that, so it's pretty funny. No, so this fight starts out, and this fucking Basil guy really goes hard. Like, rushes JDM, you know, explodes into the takedown, grabs him, try to get top control. And you can tell, like, especially as a guy who's grappled for a very long time and is very familiar with the grappling world, the way that he was moving on the ground, the way that he was breathing, the way that his muscles were really tight when he's on top, just showed me, I don't think that he has any experience there, but it just showed me how much energy he was really, really expending. Because a very, very well seasoned, high-level grappler, when they get the takedown, they obviously have to explode into the takedown, but it's more of a timing thing rather than brute strength. But other than that, when they get on top, they know how to distribute their weight to be very heavy, but also they got to be very calm and relaxed and not tense up and be, right? Like I'm fucking taking a shit or something. So that's kind of what happened in the first round. And then eventually, Jack Della Maddalena, he kind of got controlled in the first round for the most part. But even the commentators were saying, he's expending a lot of energy, right? And what do you know? That's pretty much what happened. Because the second round, Jack Della Maddalena was piecing him up bad, boxing him up real bad because he was tired. But then he jumped guillotine and then lost position. The guy was like, oh yeah, that's great. Hug you. Or I'm going to hug you now. Let me catch my breath while he made that stupid decision. And Jack Della Maddalena jumped guillotine like 2-3 times. And he almost got it maybe once, right? Almost got it, but almost ain't dick, right? Oh, I almost won $1 million, honey. Hey, I almost won $1 million. So you didn't win $1 million? I didn't, but I almost. Hello, does that not count? Right? So I don't get why he kept spamming the fucking guillotine. Why are people jumping guillotine? Stop it. Stop it. I'm serious. Stop jumping the fucking guillotine. Jesus Christ, man. Just go for it standing. Just stay standing with it. Why do you have to fucking jump guillotine, man? So stupid. You lose position, and then in this fight, which is a perfect example, there's plenty of fights that are perfect examples, right? But like this fight in particular, which is a perfect example, you're giving the guy the position, and not only that, when his head pops out, he's on top position, and he gets to catch his breath, and he's winning the fucking round in the fight. It's just stupid. It's beyond stupid. Jack Della Maddalena made a lot of critical mistakes that kept Basil into the fight. And Basil, not only did he prove to be worthy, he just wasn't some regional scrub. He hung in there with a top 15 welterweight on short notice, did his absolute damnness. Like, he really tried his absolute heart out to wrestle, to grapple, to try to just any possible way to win that fight, because he knew that he wasn't able to outbox Jack Della Maddalena. It's just not possible, right? But he knew he could probably outgrapple him, which he sort of did, right? But at the end of the day, JDM won by split decision. Do I think JDM won? I think he won based off of damage. Like I said earlier, or, in the Brandon Moreno, when I talked about that fight. Damage is what they're scoring fights on, and obviously Jack Della Maddalena had him hurt plenty of times. Plenty of times had him hurt real bad, and just made very poor fight IQ decisions in there. So I don't know if he was off. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. He was just stubborn to get that guillotine choke, try to show off his grappling prowess. I think his wrestling is there. Like Jack Della Maddalena has a pretty decent takedown defense some of the fight, and scrambled pretty well. He did the right. Nope. I'll make sure I don't ruin my audio. He did pretty good, in terms of getting up from the bottom, stuff like that. So tough fight, and that's one of those fights you need. You need one of those fights that are just a bad day at the office type of fight. Like, this isn't my best day, but I'm still gonna go in here and win. And sometimes you need that. So good on him for winning. My wish has come true. Well, not really my wish, but the old bag. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, 41-year-old. Bye. Bye. That knockout from fucking 8 years ago don't matter no more, sweetheart. Bye. See ya. God, I'm happy she lost. I'm so happy. Oh, finally, we don't have to watch that stupid head kick anymore. And the other stupid head kick that relates to the previous stupid head kick that happened fucking forever ago. I'm so happy. It's done. It's over. She might fight again, but honestly, I don't care. I really could care less because it's not going to be anywhere near the title picture. Mayra Bueno Silva has saved us all, and we have to appreciate her for this, right? But really, all fun and games aside, when you break down this fight, when I was watching this fight, Holly, even though she was in decent shape, she had that, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like when older people get fit, it's like their skin is kind of more looser, even though they have muscles there, and they kind of look frail in a way. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like look at GSP now, right? GSP, he looks jacked, he's in very good shape, but you compare him to younger GSP, like in his early 20s, mid 30s, whatever, you could tell that there's like a difference in like his skin and his bone structure, sort of. Like, it's just different. It's just what happens when you age, right? So, which is normal. But Holly Holm is 41 years old in the women's division, right? And her greatest power wasn't knockout power, right? She never had knockout power. She was very technical in the point fighting, and, you know, threw 2 head kicks in her whole fucking life, right? Anyway, so the fight begins, and Mayra Bueno Silva was coming in with that pressure. She was like a dog, right? Very high level jiu-jitsu. Her striking's getting better. But Holly Holm was trying her Holly Holm stuff. The blitzes, the air blitzes, the crashing in, crashing out, whatever. Trying to clinch. And she was trying to grapple Mayra Bueno Silva because Holly Holm obviously is not as fast as she used to be. She's not as powerful as she used to be. She's trying to do her point thing. She's trying to wrestle girls and get boring decisions. That's her whole game now, right? But Mayra Bueno Silva said, Poha! And hit her with the modified guillotine choke, which is just so nasty. Right? I got T-Rex arms, you know, my arms aren't too long. But boy, would that make me so happy to have somebody just right there and you can fucking do them, and then bang! And it's over. It's done. When you lock that up, it's like a 0.01% chance they get out of that. It's very hard to get out of. Right? You lock that up, even if they try to get to their back on the floor, you just follow them. It's over, bro. It's over. Done. And that's what happened. Holly Holm got sent to the retirement home where she belongs. She had a great career. You had your 15 minutes of fame. You went on Ellen. They had a whole fucking parade for you. You were hot shit back when fucking Obama was president, or Trump. I don't know who was president at the time. It was just a long time ago, okay? It's over. It's done. Alright? It's over now. Go away. We don't need you anymore. You did your service. We thank you for your service. You got rid of Ronda Rousey, who I hate more than you. I don't really hate Holly Holm. It's just, like I said, I'm just annoyed. I'm tired of seeing her. She just doesn't bring anything to the table. She's washed up. Done. It's over. Alright? Time to bring in the new blood. Give these main event spots to the real young and up and comers. The people who actually need it. Not washed up fucking, hey, look what I did 8 years ago. Remember? Hey. It's like that guy who like peaked in high school, you know? And he goes to like a restaurant, you see him, and he's like, oh, Billy, I remember you, man. Remember me? Right? Remember? Like Al Bundy. Hey, remember me? Hey, you know, I was the high school quarterback. You remember me, Billy? No? Come on. High school quarterback. I got all the cheerleaders, you know. I was the funniest guy in class. Straight A's. Huh? No? You don't remember me? Remember the time when you remember the time when, like, I, like, threw the touchdown pass and, like, everybody was like, woo, you know, and then I went in my car. You remember that? And, like, I freaking went to Taco Bell and, like, got a meal for free because I'm so badass. Like, remember that? And as this guy keeps rambling along, Billy's like, yeah, that was like 15 years ago, bud. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing now? Asking for change, right? That's basically what Holly Holm was. It's just over. It's just sad at this point. Just go away. So I'm very happy Mayra Silva has rid us from the curse. Thank God. I salute you, Mayra Silva. But next time, Mrs. Silva, Miss Silva, whatever you are, you get a crazy win, scream, let it out. Don't sit there and act like you got asked a fucking math question. She was like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? You just tapped out Holly Holm, right? One of the pioneers in MMA. I don't even know. She's not even considered a pioneer. She's just, whatever, famous for no reason. Anyways, gotta let it out. Scream. Go crazy. Not sit there confused and baffled. You gotta ask like a calculus question or something, you know? Other than that, though, let's see what happens in the women's bantamweight picture. It's a mess right now, you know. It was already not so deep of a division anyways. 145-pound division, the female division, that's also kind of like, I don't even know how they're going to, they either got to, like, sign up a whole bunch of 145ers or get rid of it. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. So then then the bantamweight division, you know, Juliana Pena, Raquel Pennington, Mayra Silva now. So, you know, they got some couple interesting characters, nothing too crazy. So we'll see. But nothing is popping like the 125 and 115-pound division in women's MMA. That's what's popping, especially the 115. That's popping. Zhang Wei Li, you know, so that's always interesting. So yeah. Then we got Tommy Aspinall fighting this weekend. Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, na. Tommy Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall. That's a great song, by the way. The actual song is na. Baby, give it up, baby, give it up. I'm actually gonna listen to this after that. So yeah, I'm gonna go over that fight card with you guys. Seems like it's gonna be a pretty decent card, you know. You gotta love it when they go back to England. And I'm gonna see how Tommy returns from his injury. Hopefully he's fully recovered. You know, right? You gotta make sure you're fully recovered from a knee injury like that, especially the big boys. So we'll see. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.